Hello, friends. What do you call a republic that never stops fighting? In Rome, they just called it Tuesday. As my canoe drifts under a mossy arch of stone, I imagine the distant thunder of marching feet. The Roman Republic wasn't just a government, it was a war machine wrapped in a toga. From the moment it drew breath, Rome was either at war, recovering from war, or preparing for the next one. Peace? That was just the time you used to sharpen your gladius. So let's paddle into the whirlwind, Rome's long list of wars that built its power, fame, and a reputation that echoed across centuries. It all started with Italy, of course. Before it could rule the world, Rome had to rule the boot. That meant endless battles with stubborn neighbors, the Etruscans, the Samnites, the Volsci, and others who weren't too thrilled about Roman neighbors moving in with roads and armies. Then came the big leagues, the Punic Wars. Rome's first real international showdown against Carthage, the superpower of North Africa. The first war was about Sicily. The second? That was Hannibal and his war elephants marching over the Alps like it was no big deal. Hannibal outsmarted the Romans at Cannae in one of the bloodiest ambushes in military history. But did Rome give up? Never. They simply refused to lose. They kept raising armies until one man, Scipio Africanus, turned the tide at Zama and brought Carthage to its knees. By now, Rome had developed a habit: defeat a rival, take their land, and then ask, who's next? The answer was Greece, with its fractured city-states and fading glory. Rome stepped in as liberators, but soon stayed as conquerors. The East had wealth, art, and marble, the kind that would later decorate Roman villas and bathhouses. And then there was Gaul, Spain, Illyria, and a dozen places whose names now decorate Italian restaurants or tourist brochures. Rome expanded like a hungry beast, devouring one province after another. Some victories came through strategy, others through sheer stubbornness. But war changes you. Every conquest brought back wealth, slaves, and glory, especially for the generals. And here's where things start getting itchy. Generals like Marius, Sulla, and later Pompey and Caesar became heroes not just to the Senate, but to the legions. Soldiers started swearing loyalty not to the Republic, but to the man who promised them land and loot. You see where this is going? The Senate, once proud and balanced, was now caught between managing foreign wars and surviving political ones. Every victory brought more land, more gold, and more problems. Who would farm the new territories? Who would manage the new provinces? And what about the thousands of returning veterans with no homes, no jobs, and no patience? As Rome won battles abroad, it lost stability at home. The spoils of war widened the gap between the rich and poor. The elite grew richer, buying up land and building palatial estates worked by slaves. The poor crowded into Rome's tenements, angry and unemployed, wondering what had happened to the old republic. And that, my friends, is the story we'll explore next. Because for all its triumphs on the battlefield, Rome was now facing a new kind of war, not fought with swords, but with bread, votes, and rage. Next time, Rome's growing pains, economic and social tensions. Let's step off the battlefield and into the brewing storm.